Hello, John here. I'm just doing a quick little update for you to clue you all in on why I've been silent on the internet for the past 2 weeks. I just moved to Canada and it was quite the process. Shipping things, and I had to remodel this new office that I'm in, which I'll show you here in a minute. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't really think about, warning people that I was leaving. I got a bunch of messages from people wondering where I'm at. You haven't made a YouTube video in a while, and so on. So that's nice of you. That's cool. I did announce this on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, go ahead and do so. It's @statedclearly is my Twitter handle. Those of you who have been following me on Instagram for a while, you probably noticed that the past year or so, I've been showing up in Canada quite a bit, in Quebec and Montreal. And the reason for that is that I've got a girlfriend here, and yeah, I moved here to be with her. So that's why I'm here. I'm not running away from Donald Trump or something. I mean, I guess that's an added bonus, but So yeah, I've been busy, kind of doing some remodeling. I set up a little desk here, workstation, and these are the few things that I brought from the U.S. My most valuable possessions. I'm missing almost all of my library. Books are very heavy and expensive to ship, so every time I go back to visit family, I'll be grabbing some and bringing them back here. The only ones I brought are the ones I was currently reading. So Katrina Van Grouw's Unnatural Selection, which is an extremely, extremely good book. She's an artist. She does, anatomy art. And she's written some really great things about just evolutionary biology in this book and illustrated it beautifully, absolutely beautifully. I'm going to be doing a review of this book later, and I'll actually have her on the show to talk to me about the book. I'm also reading, Making Sense of Evolution, which is by Jonathan Kaplan, who is a professor at OSU. I'm from Corvallis, Oregon, and I've met him a few times. He teaches philosophy there. He also taught evolution in Tennessee for years. Yeah, I'm reading this book. It's pretty good. I just kind of got started on it recently, so I don't have a whole lot to say on it yet. And then Endless Forms Most Beautiful. I've read this a long time ago. I really like it, so I made sure to take it with me. And this book by Darren Naish, Evolution in Minutes. This book, I really should do a series of videos on this book. It's so good. Whether you're completely new to studying evolution or you got a degree in evolutionary biology, this book's really cool because all the lessons, they're like one page: the discovery of chromosomes, eukaryotic cells, biomechanics, and evolution. So the book is broken into just really simple one-page articles, and it's really cool because you can just cruise through the book, find topics that you don't really know very well, read his one-page blurb about it, and then get online and start looking up more stuff. And the reason I find this book so useful is that at this point, I've been teaching evolution for years now, since 2012. I've been studying it, obviously, for much longer. And if I pick up a textbook or a book that someone like, this Making Sense of Evolution book, most of what's in here is stuff I've already know about and thought about and I already understand. There's a couple of gems throughout the book that are like, oh, that's cool. I never thought of things that way. But it's rare. Most of the books that I read at this point on biology, it's mostly stuff I already know. I mean, reminders are fine, and hearing a different author's perspective on things is always interesting. But this little book is really cool because you can just cruise through the parts you already understand, and you'll find little gems in there, little pieces of information that you don't really know much about, and you can go look that up. You read his page, then you go dive deep online. Here I have my skull collection, some of my skull collection. All of my real bones I left, I boxed up because I didn't feel like getting in trouble crossing the border with. I've got a bear skull, I've got coyote, it's things that I was able to have in Oregon, but I don't know what the rules are for transporting those things across the border, so I didn't even bother. I'll probably look into that more later, and maybe the next flight I'll take those with me. But I just got my my Bone Clones replicas here. This is my little 1/3 scale saber-toothed tiger. Pretty cool. Down here we've got some dog skulls. Can you name all the breeds? One of them's not a dog, one of them's a wolf. Can you tell which one is the wolf? It's actually a little bit tricky. And then here, of course, if you've been watching my videos for a while on the Stated Casually channel, you recognize these skulls very well. This is a Peruvian elongated skull, which a lot of people think is an alien skull because they don't understand how anatomy works. But yes, it is just an elongated skull. It's been stretched. And this is my little, I guess you call those thunder eggs, right? From, this is actually a Brazilian one. I'm not that familiar with rock naming schemes. I think it's called an agate when the hole is all the way filled, and otherwise it's called a thunder egg. Correct me if I'm wrong there. But the reason that I got this, like, I absolutely love this thing. It's beautiful. There was a rock shop in Corvallis that was selling these. They had a whole bunch of them in from Brazil. You know, I used to live in Brazil. Falo português e tudo mais. So that was like a selling point, like, oh, I miss Brazil. I haven't been there in so long. But also the, I really like this because it shows how fossilization works. Well, not all types of fossilization, but permineralization works. So I've got this, and I've got this, I'll do a whole video on this properly someday, but this ammonite shell, you can see that just like this rock, so what happened is this was a hole in a rock, and water full of minerals was trickling down through this hole, passing through this hole. And inside this little crevice in this rock, the minerals would increase in concentration until they would start to crystallize. And that's what happens inside of a fossil as well. The cells inside of a thing like this trilobite, the cells in there, or this fossilized wood, the cells are little hollow spaces. Water can trickle through there. It can bring minerals through, and crystals will form like this. And what's really cool with this ammonite is that you can see that up here at the top we have crystals that have formed, and that hasn't completely closed up, but some of these are completely closed. You can see when I get the light shining on it, they're completely closed up. And that's what happens when something fossilizes, when it is permineralized, is what we call it. That's what happened with this guy. This is Gus. That's what my friend Amber named my trilobite. He's got crystals filling up all of his cells, and intercellular matrix, which was hard in this case, a trilobite. And so in every little crevice possible, that's filled up with mineral and turned him into a fossil, a very, very durable fossil. I mean, this thing's, I want to say he's like 400 million years old, but again, don't quote me on that either. Anyway, that's my office. I painted it myself. I remodeled it. I got some blankets on the wall here to kind of deaden the echoes that in a room, a small room like this. You can tell that I'm the one that painted it. Ignore all my cords here. This is obnoxious. I need to call an electrician because only some of my power outlets work, and yeah, so I have to have extension cords all over the place. And yeah, you can see that as I did the painting myself, I kind of screwed up in some spots. Whoops. I'll have to fix that. It's pretty good on the top, not perfect. But, you know, there we have it. This is my office. My new works. Oh, I got to show you this guy. This is my Tiktaalik. I don't have a name for him. I should probably name him, but Tiktaalik plushie. And it's by Paleo Plushies. It says handmade by Rebecca Grow. I think she uses the term handmade a little bit looser than I would. This looks to me like it was sewn with a sewing machine and printed probably in some sort of inkjet printer on the fabric. But anyway, it was really cool. I love this thing. It's one of my favorite little toys, I guess. I'm a grown up and I have stuffed animals. So anyway, I'm in Canada now and it's pretty cool here. Having some good times. I now have 2 dogs. I haven't had dogs in forever. I'll introduce you to them some other day. I'm going to be out of commission still for another week, The next video that I do will be on the 4th, Sunday the 4th of November. And then on the 6th, I will be recording a debate with my friend Perry Marshall. He is I don't want to call him a creationist because he doesn't like that, but he is a sort of a creationist leaning-ish guy. He's nothing like a Ken Ham or something like that, but he believes that there is teleology in biology, purpose and meaning in living things. And so that's what him and I are going to be kind of debating about. We'll see exactly where it is that we agree and disagree. Perry Marshall's a really cool guy, really smart guy. Obviously, I disagree with him on certain things, but yeah, it'll be fun. And I think we'll be pre-recording that, and then I'll be editing it a little bit because he and I we're not really good at live performances. I'm starting to get better at it, but I do a lot of ums, and he does a lot of likes. I think he's from oh look, I just did it. I think he's from somewhere in Southern California, and I actually don't know where he's from. He lives in Chicago now, but anyway, he's every other word is like when he gets a little bit flustered. So I'll probably be editing that a little bit. I won't edit, anything that we say, but I'll chop things down a little bit for you. Anyway, that's my situation. That's why I've been silent on the internet. Follow me on Twitter @StatedClearly. Look me up on Instagram, again, Stated Clearly. I live in Canada now. That's a thing. I do miss Oregon a little bit, obviously friends and family, but this is Montreal is a beautiful place. I'm really excited to be here. And in the dead of winter, I'm actually going to run away to Ecuador for a month. So that'll be cool. I'll be making some videos in the jungle with Nancy Miarelli, who we had on the show about a month ago now. So there you have it. I live in Canada. Goodbye.